Hey guys, so this is my transformation journey into the fitness coach that you see today. It's going to be an emotional roller coaster. Fitness journey started when I was a little boy, yeah. I was picked on severely for a few things. My ears used to stick out like this, and I used to get bullied ridiculously for it every single day. I was picked on for the colour of my skin. See? My mum is from Mauritius and my dad is from Jamaica. They're both mixed countries. When I did a DNA test, I found out I'm African, European, and Asian. What this meant was, I didn't fit into any single social group, so I always had to have my own back, yeah? Now, I used to get into a lot of fights when I was younger, and that used to irritate me. I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover, yeah? And but man, like literally, I would get in trouble. I didn't even start any of these fights. Literally, they would start on me. I would defend myself, whoop their ass. Guess who gets in trouble? Me. So you know what used to happen as well? Because I was tough, yeah, I had to be tough growing up where I came from. I'm from the streets of London. Whoop someone's ass. Guess what would happen? I'd get jumped by about 3 to 5, 6, 7 guys. Happened on a regular basis. Happened in primary school, secondary school. I had enough. So at the age of 15, I decided to make a change. The internet was available at this time. I went on Google, read the fitness magazines, and I wanted to learn how to get big. I wanted this bullying to finally be put to an end, once and for all. I was tired of it. I was tired of having to defend myself every fucking day. Yeah. Started weight training. And for about 4 years, I was doing it religiously. I was eating how they told me to eat. I was training about 4 to 6 times a week. Do you want to know what? Turned out to be a fucking waste of time. Do something called a bulk. So I train about 5-6 days a week, eat as much as possible, no food was off limit, and I do this for about 9 months of the year. That's bulking, yeah? Now, in clothes, you would have thought I was really muscular. However, once I took that top off, I had fat on my breasts, I had fat flipping armpit here, squishy fat here, my neck was fat and I'd just cover it up like this, my face was chubby, my legs were fat, my butt was fat, and I had a little bit of muscle under that fat. However, what bodybuilding teaches you is don't worry about that. When you do your 3-month cut now, you're going to strip away all that fat and you're going to reveal the muscle underneath. Well, guess what? I went on a diet. It's very strict. Trained about 6 days a week again. Did the HIIT cardio. Did all the running. Did everything like they told me to do. Guess what? I lost all the weight. Did I have that muscular body revealed underneath that fat? No. What I was left with was stretch marks. What I was left with was about the same amount of muscle, if not a tiny bit more than when I started. This was over a 4-year period. I wasted my damn time. It was only when I got to university I started getting a bit smarter. I came across an article that exposed the industry. See, your favourite bodybuilders, especially the really big ones, they're all on fucking drugs. Steroids, insulin, growth hormone, clenbuterol, you name it. All of them. And that's why they look the way they do. Don't get twisted, I'm not hating on them. Body, they can do what they want with it. What I don't like about their advice is when they tell young people like me, this is how it's done. And it's a fucking lie, yeah? This is why I'm so passionate about what I do today, yeah? I made those mistakes, I wasted my time. Now, every single client I work with, because I went through those mistakes and found out what was the truth, they now get in shape from the get-go. I give them a good nutrition plan, a good training plan, and I motivate them. And that's all I do, and they grow, or they lose fat, and they get in shape. I had an ex-girlfriend. We had our good moments. Fancied her from school. You know, the time when I was fucking ugly, so she probably didn't even remember me in school. I found her beautiful. And yeah, we linked up when we was about 20. We got together. Nothing happened out of it. But then like 3 years later or 4 years later, we became a couple. That would kind of be my downfall of it. It's literally what happened was I got addicted to fucking smoking. How did the boy that was so anti-smoking and into fitness get addicted to marijuana and cigarettes? What a fucking idiot. But it just proves to you that this can happen to anybody. So be careful who you pick around your social circle. Be careful who you pick as a partner, because this can happen to you. Yeah, I was getting tonsillitis every 1 to 3 months without fail, and I couldn't figure out why it was happening. I got my tonsils taken out. When I got the tonsils taken out, you would have thought that the tonsillitis would go away, wouldn't you? Well, it kind of did. I no longer had sore tonsils, but tonsillitis isn't just sore tonsils. It's headaches, it's fever, it's joint pain, it's a really extreme flu, yeah? And this was happening to me every 2 months over a 2-year period. And after the tonsillitis, it was still happening for another 6 months. And it wasn't until I sat down and actually started thinking, why is this happening to me? And I found the culprit. It was my training. I was training too hard. I was going to failure too much. I was training too much. I wasn't eating enough to support that training. And there was other stresses in my life too. All these combinations led me to getting sick every 2 months. And that's why I'm not at my genetic potential yet. Because every time I'd make some progress, I'd have to take a couple months off to recover. I finally learned how to train properly for me. I set my training up properly, and ever since then I very rarely get sick. I did a personal trainer course. Where I learned the most on my PT course from Leon Marshall and Leon Bernard of Fit UK, my technique was lagging. See, I learned exercise technique from YouTube, yeah? And there's a lot of fake people on YouTube who mean well. They think they're teaching you right, but they're not. And I would get injured like all the fucking time. This is where it gets a bit deep too. You might have seen that in the caption I mentioned that I thought about suicide many times, but I was a coward to go through with it. However, my mum was suicidal for about a 3-year period, yeah. I done first aid and CPR on that woman about 5 times personally, yeah. I saw my mum get sectioned. I had to visit her in the mental hospital, yeah. But do you want to know what saved my life? Strength training and a positive mental attitude, yeah. No matter what I was going through in my personal life, yeah, I kept up my training, I kept up my eating habits, I kept myself sane. That was my mum going through her problems, not me. I had to look after me so I could look after her. And that was a very tough period in my life. One of the hardest things I've ever had to face. Watching your mum die and like lying fucking unconscious on the floor, not knowing what to do. It's very fucking hard. Seeing her in the fucking mental hospital getting bullied and that reminding you of when you were bullied as a youngster, like, it was fucking horrible. But enough of that. Old job, I used to hate it but love it at the same time. I was a PT, but I was underpaid. Man, my skills, like I told you, are legendary. I've learned a lot from some of the biggest names in the fitness industry. Paid minimum wage for like 4 years, yeah? So in September, I decided to quit that shit. I had a few bit of savings in the bank onto my last £100 in October. I was under pressure and I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't going to afford my rent. I come from a rich family. Ever since I'm 16, I've given my parents money. I don't come from wealth. I have to create wealth for myself. And this is what I help people do, man. Like, you think I'm just a personal trainer who helps you build muscle and lose fat. No, it's more than that. I transform your fucking life like I did my own. I went from an unconfident little kid who was racially abused, picked on for his physical features, picked on for the way he talks, everything, yeah? And I became confident, successful, believing in myself, embodying what a true man should be. Men have certain traits about them. And one of them is lifting up other people. And I do that, and that's my job.